Hey guys, my name is Deb Marnie and I'm from Aussie Maille. Welcome to our chain mail tutorial channel. Hey guys, a big hi, hello, welcome, how are you today? Thanks for popping in and spending some time with me. So today I've got a weave tutorial for you, and the one we're doing today is called Captive Inverted Round. Alright guys, let's jump straight into it. Alright guys, I've got some sample pieces here of the inverted round for you to have a look at. So coming up on the side here will be a list of the ring sizes that I used for these pieces. They will also be listed down in the description down below this video, but just to run through them quickly. The one here is 14 gauge AWG 1.6mm diameter wire. The ring ID here was 5/16 of an inch, or 7.94 millimeters. The next one is 16 gauge AWG 1.2mm diameter wire with a ring ID of 1/4 of an inch, or 6.35 millimeters. The next one is 18 gauge AWG 1mm diameter wire. Ring ID here is 3/16 of an inch, or 4.76 millimeters. And our last one is the 20 gauge AWG 0.8mm diameter wire with a ring ID of 5/32 of an inch, or 3.97 millimeters. Now, a quick note before we go any further with this, the ring sizes that I used here are at the tighter end of the usability of aspect ratio. I deliberately wanted to do these with colours in them, and so I was limited by the sizes that are available. With the exception of the 16 gauge one, which is actually a smidgen bigger than what is considered ideal, you can see that this one has flexibility to make a bracelet. These ones that are at the higher, tighter end of the aspect ratio don't have as much flexibility and therefore won't make good bracelets. They just don't tend to bend enough. You might get a bangle out of one or two of them, but you're certainly not going to get a very good bracelet. So if you were wanting to use these for a bracelet, you're going to have to go with slightly bigger sizes. I'll list those down in the description, what's considered an ideal size for this weave, and you should have a little bit more flexibility with those. But these ones, I would use them as like just segments of them. So I might use a small piece of this and put chain on either side and make this as a focal piece for a necklace. You can make a small piece and attach it to a keychain, or you could even make a pendant out of a small piece, a pair of earrings out of a tiny piece of this. You can do all sorts of things with them, but with these sizes, except for the 16 gauge version, they're not great for bracelets. You can also, with this weave, pop beads inside as well. Okay, I've got a video, it is a live session, but I've got a video I'll link up here in the corner where I talked about the sizes and the beads and that for this one, so I'll link that for you guys if you want to go and check that out. But you can do a couple of different things. You can capture different things, obviously, in the middle. Just the flexibility of this weave is not great. Okay, so before we start weaving, you might want to pre-close whatever rings are going in the center. These ones here, the captive rings. Pre-close a handful of those. It will just flow easier if you've got these pre-closed. So do up some of those and set those aside. And then to start the actual weave, we're going to make up a chain that is 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So to do that, just grab your second color. In this case, it's our bright aluminium, and make up that chain. So as I said, it's a 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 chain. So just whip that up however you like. don't have to put it together the way I am. Just okay. So there's our 2 1 2 1 2 chain, and what we want to do is we want to join this into a circle. So we take up another ring, put it through one end pair, and then bring the other end up, making sure we're not twisting it or doing anything funky with it. Bring it up and feed it through the other pair and close that up. Okay, so your work should look something like this. And then what we're going to do, we want to separate out these pairs of rings because they're going to be, one's going to be the end and one's going to be the working edge. So we separate out the top pair of rings from the bottom pair, and we've got this sort of look going on. So I'm just going to, through one end, put a couple of twist ties in. Because there's 3 rings there, it can get a little awkward. So I usually put a twist tie through 2 and then a twist tie through 1, and then just sort of twist them together a little bit to loosely hold it. And then this end becomes our working end. Okay, so what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to put another pair of bright aluminium rings in. So I'm just going to elongate this piece a little bit. So to do that, I'm just going to join our end 3 pairs of rings together to each other, so to their neighbouring rings. So you just put one through each neighbouring ring until you've got all 3 joined together, till you've placed 3 more rings. Now this is a bit of a jumbled mess at this stage. And I'm going to say in advance, this weave is very much hands-on. I will do my best to keep my thumbs out of the picture, but it is difficult for me to do that. So don't get too upset with me. I'm doing the best I can for you with this weave. Okay, so I've added those extra 3 rings on. So we've basically got a chain that is now 4 rows long. Okay, just twist these back together. They've come undone. They don't need to be tightly twisted, but it just gets in the way otherwise. Now this is the tricky bit, guys. So we want to hold on to this, and those 3 rings that we just added, we want to fold them all the way back so that they expose this set of rings down here. So you can see this set of rings. So these are the rings we've folded back. This was the set that they were connected to. This is the next set of rings. And in there, we want to pop one of our pre-closed rings to sit on top of those 3 in there. Now, I don't have a trick to do this. It's not a miraculous thing. You sort of have to hold it in there and then fold your work back up like that. So you can see my ring in there is not straight in that cage, okay? It hasn't gone smoothly. That's okay, don't let it all go. Hold on to it and just do your best to move that ring around to keep it into position. While you bring the cage up. So this first one is particularly difficult. It gets better once there's a little bit more stability in your weave. Okay, but just persevere with it, guys, until you get it right. And there you go. Okay, it's sitting in there a little straighter now. It's sitting within that row of rings there. And then to lock that into place, you're going to want to take up the silver ring, the outside ring, and build another level to your cage. Okay, so place those 3 rings, as we did before, by just going through 2 of the rings each time until you've put another level on. Let those rings fall all the way back, and you can see already that our weave is a little bit more stable, and this is where we want to pop our next ring. So take up your next pre-closed ring, put it on top, and then carefully bring your work back up, fold it back up. Again, it hasn't gone well for me, so I just want to keep the cage sort of upwards like that, wriggle that into position, and then fold that cage all the way up. So you can see it went much quicker that time. As you get further along and it's a little bit more stable, it becomes a little bit easier to do. So again, we want to put another level to our cage. We place our 3 rings. 1, 2, 3. Then once we have those 3 rings placed, we grab about where the last ring, just below where the last center ring is, let them all fall back, okay? We want to expose these 3 rings here in the center. So these are the ones we just added. These are the rings that they went into, and then this is the next one down in there. Take one of our pre-closed rings, pop it on top of those rings that we exposed, and then carefully start folding your rings up. So I'm trying to do this without getting my thumbs in the way all the time, but really you do need to have your hands on this weave to get it to work. So again, that ring didn't sit in the cage properly. I'm just going to go back in here, wriggle that into position so that it sits on top of those rings, and then close it back up again. And then just extend the cage again. So you keep doing that, guys, until you get the length that you require. So as I said, look, it is fiddly. Certainly not going to lie. You can see that that is quite fiddly. It may not work the first time for you, and that's okay, guys. Just take a deep breath and persevere with it. It's just fiddly. There's no other words for it. So let them fall all the way back. Pop it in the middle there, and then start to fold your work up. So fold this first set of rings up, and then fold up the final set of rings. And if, again, it hasn't worked, just come into your work, grab that purple ring, and position it in there in the right position, and then fold the silver rings up. And you just keep going. So that's how you create the captive inverted round weave. Okay guys, well that's it. That is the video tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it to be helpful. If you did find it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. Share the video if you like. Leave any comments or questions you may have down below in the comments section. While you're here, if you're not a subscriber, you might consider doing that for us. Check out some of the other videos that we currently have on our channel. And last but not least, guys, don't forget to give our shop link up here in the corner a little love. That's where we sell all the bits and bobs and you know what's that you're going to need to do this weave and many of our other tutorials. Alright guys, thanks again for popping in. As usual, I hope you're all keeping safe and doing well, and I will catch up with you again sometime in the very near future. Bye!